Walk-On Indians picked up their first win of the season in week number two. It was a happy trip home from Oline last Friday night, 59-6, the victory for Walk-On. Head coach Chad Beermann joining us. And coach, looked like for the most part just a pretty complete performance by your team. Is that fair to say?
Well, yes and no. I mean, at halftime we were only up 16-0. We turned the ball over inside the 10. You gave it back to them on their own five. So we could have had three scores in the first half. There was a lot of holding. We couldn't get called, and the kids were getting really frustrated. And halftime we had to kind of settle them down and just say, sometimes it's going to happen that way. You're not going to get the calls and. They rallied and we kind of focused on the running game in the second half. Lights went out for about half an hour. So, I mean, it was all kinds of things, but yeah, we ended up eventually, 59-6 was the final. And, we were able to kneel out the last 2 minutes of the game. So,
Have you ever been a part of a game with a power failure? I know you've been on the sidelines quite some time. Has that ever happened in a game you've coached?
I'm trying to think I know we had one a track meet where they went out at the end of the track meet. I can't remember. I know they happen periodically, but I don't remember one like this. And it was, they have the older lights that take forever to come back on once they go off. So it was kind of a,
Yeah, interesting situation. Probably a night that a lot of those kids will never forget. You mentioned you relied on that running game in the second half, 266 yards on 23 carries, two kids getting over 100 yards. What made the running game work for you?
well, those kids did a nice job running, but then, our offensive line, I think, is continuing to grow and come together, and they played really well. And they like blocking and they like maybe going down and throwing that second block, find somebody else, and that's what springs those long runs. And so we were pleased with downfield blocking. We got some great stock blocking out of some of our kids too. So
And defensively, it looks like you ended up -1 on the give take, but you were able to have a pick six. You took the ball away one time, and you only gave up 6 points. Did your defense perhaps take a step forward from week number one?
I believe so. Like I said, we had a hard time getting pressure just because we were literally getting tackled and thrown to the ground. But um, their quarterback did a nice job throwing the ball. So I mean, they did have like 200 yards passing, but ultimately they didn't get a lot of points out of it. And we had a pick six. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown. We had a punt return for a touchdown called back. So I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on in the ball game, but I think, like I said, we progressed as the game went on, and we didn't give them a lot of points. And the one touchdown was a long pass. They made a great throw, and the kid caught it, and we were in man coverage. So once he beat that, he was gone. So.
And this week it's back home, and you got a very good football team coming in West Delaware. What do you expect out of the Hawks come Friday night?
Well, they're not anywhere near as big as Decorah, but they probably are pretty close in speed. I mean, they've got some kids that can run, and they've put up over 40 points against NFV last week, and NFV did a nice job, killing the clock with their offense. And they still were able to, they had like I think an 86-yard run for a touchdown and some long pass plays, and they got Marion 2 weeks ago, so there'll be a big challenge for the defense, and again for our offense to be able to score and be able to maybe keep the defense off the field a little bit. So.
And this will be your last non-district game before you get into district play next week. Anything in particular you want to see from the improvement end of things before the games count towards the playoffs next week?
Just making sure we get lined up, quicker on defense. That's been an ongoing issue, and so make sure we get those called, get lined up, and fly around, and tackling still. We missed some tackles Friday that would have prevented stuff, and we went for a blocked punt, and the punter managed to escape and get a first down out of it. So we need to clean that up.
All right, Coach. Hopefully you can keep the positivity going this week. Keep your kids healthy. We wish you best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Chad Beerman, head coach of the Walk-On Indians. Walk-On Indians and West Delaware Friday night in Walk-On.